Welcome to the Clarington Chronicle Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Stanish. This is podcast episode number 76 for Thursday, March 2nd, 2017. I'm glad to have you join me. In this podcast, I'm going to take a look at a new program by the Durham Regional Police Service to monitor traffic along Taunton Road. All right, well, I hope everybody had a great week. We seem to be in the midst of the late winter blues or sunshine, depending on how you look at it. It's back to cold today. It was freezing this morning, minus 14 when I got up and went to work. And yesterday it was plus 14, but now it's back down to cold, and it's been up and down all week, so I thought it was kind of funny. Typical Canadian weather, I guess. And at least we're now almost through winter, so I can't even remember what the groundhogs back on Groundhog Day came up with, but I think they were split. I think half the groundhogs were saying it was going to be an early spring and half said it was going to be a late spring. I'm not sure if this half cold every other day or half warm every other day counts either way, so I don't know how far we want to take the groundhogs, but in any case, I hope everybody had a really good week. So, as per usual, I just want to go over a couple of news items before we get into our main topic. But the first is the 2017 Clarington Sports and Leisure Fair. And that's going to be hosted at the Newcastle and District Recreation Complex on Sunday, March 5th. So that's this coming Sunday. And it's going to go on from 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. So the Sport Leisure Fair is going to feature activities for families, demonstrations, prizes, pizza, and fun. I'll include a link down below, so if you care to go, you can take a look. And there's going to be a free public swim from 2 to 4 p.m. And the public swimming rules are in effect, it notes here. But just so you're aware, there's also a free public swim if you're interested from 2 to 4 o'clock in Newcastle. They're pleased to welcome back Boston Pizza Bowmanville as a partner, and they're going to provide delicious pizza. If you'd like to be a part of this, if you're a member of or a leader in a local community group, you can call Erica at 905-435-1061, extension 2563, or you can email emitag at clarington.net. Display space is available to Clarington community groups and service clubs on a first call basis. So just wanted to let you know about that. And the second item was something that I found in Clarington this week in the local paper. It's unbylined, but the story here is Clarington residents can have their say on a proposed townhouse development at a public meeting coming up March 13th, and that's a week this coming Monday. So this is the second public meeting on the proposal by Modo Bowmanville Towns Limited, 55 Clarington Limited, and Devin Daniel to build 3 blocks of medium-density townhouses on the east side of Green Road, south of Prince William Drive. And it says here the plan also includes a block for future high-density development and the extension of Clarington Boulevard. So a public meeting was held back in June 2016, and the proposed draft plan of the subdivision and rezoning applications have not changed. So the upcoming meeting, it says here, is to ensure that all proper owners within 120 meters of the subject lands have been notified. So that's March 13th at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Administrative Center, which is at 40 Temperance Street in Bowmanville. All right, so on to our main topic, and that's going to be of a new program by Durham Regional Police on Taunton Road. So if you don't know where Taunton Road is, if you're new to Clarington or you just simply don't live in sort of a central or northern part of Clarington, you might not be familiar with Taunton Road that much. It basically goes all the way from the border of Oshawa and Clarington right through the municipality and to the east side, and in sections it's quite fast, and in other sections there's businesses. A lot of us will end up going across Taunton to get to the movie theaters in Oshawa, on the north side of Oshawa there, and or you might need a new fridge or stove or something and end up going to Paddy's Market, which is also on Taunton. There's numerous businesses. There's a big chip truck roundup about midway there, so it's kind of neat, and there's a lot of nice scenery and farmland and that kind of stuff that you can look at. So it's a beautiful road, but it can also get very busy and people can get impatient. So the story that I'm following now is Durham Police tackling aggressive drivers on Taunton Road during March. Now this was a press release from the Durham Regional Police Services, and I'll include the link to that. But basically it says the traffic services branch will be focusing their attention on Taunton Road for aggressive drivers. Now, I'm sure we've all had that experience of somebody being overly aggressive. I happen to live in South Curtis, so for me, I think of Bloor Street when I think of this as well, and certainly Highway 2 has a lot of traffic as well. Nash, I think to a lesser extent, but it still has similar problems because it's a major east-west road. There are businesses along there, and it's seen as a route to kind of get to where you want to go, all four of these, right? So, but in any case, the Durham Regional Police are tackling aggressive driving on Taunton Road. So for the month of this March, numerous officers from traffic services and divisional officers will be addressing traffic concerns on Taunton Road across Durham Region, and of course we're part of Durham Region. They will primarily focus on enforcing any aggressive drivers on our roadways and also any Highway Traffic Act infractions in an effort to make the road safer for commuters. So I'm sure, as I said earlier, I'm sure we've all had that experience of somebody blasting by you at a fast rate or tailgating right behind you, flashing their signals or really trying to push you to go quicker, or conversely making unsafe turns, not making the turn too slowly and impeding traffic. And or parked off to the side and trying to merge into traffic. There's all sorts of problems that can happen when you're on the roadway. And I very much love motorcycling, and I generally try and take Taunton Road or one of the roads east-west up there. I try and take one of those roads when I go parts eastward. So I'm very familiar with the road condition, even down to the pothole level, and stones and gravel and sand and all that, because I do ride on a motorcycle frequently on Taunton, especially during the riding season, which is coming up. So, definitely I'd add my voice here that to keep your eyes open for motorcyclists and to be aware of what they're doing. Yes, I realize they're not all saints, and there are bad motorcyclists out there also that tailgate too closely or, make unsafe changes or split lanes and all that kind of stuff. That's generally legal in Canada, so, it's not like they're just pushing the boundaries. In often cases, they're going over that boundary, but many are very safety conscious as well. So, but just to be aware that they are on the road, and you're very shortly, within about a month, you're going to start seeing a lot of motorcycles on the road. So just to be aware of that as well. But going back to the main topic here, so Durham Regional Police here in their press release say since January 2015, so that's about 2 years now, there have been 1,805 collisions. 341 personal injury collisions. So again, like we're looking at hundreds and hundreds of car accidents here along this road, and 341 people were injured in the past 2 years, and 5 fatal collisions region-wide on Taunton Road. So it doesn't break it down here by municipality. We don't know whether those were in Pickering, or we don't know whether those were in Oshawa, or we don't know whether those were in Clarington. But still, the same road, and there were 5 fatal collisions. So that again, that accentuates the whole discussion here that we really need to watch what's going on and watch ourselves here, because we don't want to exacerbate the problem, right? So I had posted this on one of the Facebook pages here that deal with issues in Clarington, and one person chimed in, as a cyclist, I welcome it. So that's, again, I think of it in terms of vehicles and motorcycles. Cars, motorcycles, trucks, but certainly back when I was in university, I cycled like crazy. I did 30 or 35 kilometers a day bicycling just to get to university and back. So I was an avid biker in terms of bicycler, if that's a term, bicyclist, I guess. I even went all the way up to Georgian Bay one time, 160 kilometers. I did a century. So I used to be an avid cyclist. So I'm very familiar with the bicycle lanes that have now appeared all over Clarington. So I live very close to Charles Road, so there are bicycle routes along Charles Road, at least on the south side here, or I guess the central side. South side I'm not so sure of once you get south of Bloor, but certainly between Bloor and about Nash Road, there's plenty of marked lanes for people to be cycling, which I think is a fantastic development. And so the cyclists, of course, are concerned because outside of that area, once you get up to Taunton Road, I'm not sure if the facilities are that well. There's the gravel pavement in many spots. There is nice scenery where people are perhaps, car drivers are perhaps looking at the scenery and not maybe seeing how close they are to bicyclists. So it's definitely a dangerous situation. So it's good for, I think, the police to be keeping an eye on this right now and reminding people, as we're getting different types of vehicles out on the road, to be a little careful along there. So another person, once I posted this, chimed in, I would like to see it year-round, not just as a year-end action, or just like a monthly action, I guess. So, things do cost money. It does cost money to police this. But on the other hand, if we do have a traffic services division, and if this is an area that's been deemed a concern, I'm certain we can, maybe heighten or awareness along that, or maybe have a rotating group that maybe would, jump down to Bloor Street for a while, or jump back up to Taunton, and then maybe, like different roads in the area, and analyze exactly, not just analyze, but monitor how people are doing, because there's a number of infractions. But certainly it's the tailgating, I think, that bugs people most, because it makes the person in front nervous. And I realize that we're all trying to get somewhere. We all want to move along the road as quickly as possible. But I would just encourage everybody to relax. We do live. We're not in the downtown core. We're not on the 401. This isn't, Mo Sport Speedway. That really, you can take it easy. You're still going to get where you need to go. Probably you're going to meet all up at the next light anyways. If not that one, the one after. So the other thing is, I think also a lot of the times along Taunton, people use it as a shortcut, right, to get across Clarington. They don't want to go down to 2 or up to 2 once they get past there. So they kind of use it as a shortcut, and it's one of those roads where there all are businesses along there. So you got to be careful. So that was the main topic. I just wanted to, put that out there and make people aware that, the police are monitoring that, and not to simply behave just in March, but to keep in mind that these statistics here, that there are 1,800 people, 1,800 accidents, and hundreds of people have been injured. So just to be aware of that it is a dangerous zone, and to be aware and take care of your fellow drivers. Question of the podcast: do you think speeding and safety are a problem along Taunton Road? Do you think speeding and safety are a problem along Taunton Road? And that's it for episode number 76 of the Clarington Chronicle Podcast. If you'd like to comment on the podcast or have an idea for an upcoming episode, please email me at claringtonchronicle@gmail.com. And you can find this podcast on Twitter at ClaringtonChron, or on one of the Facebook pages dedicated to Clarington or communities within Clarington, or on my website, markstanish.com. You can subscribe for free on iTunes or Android and get instant updates when a new podcast is uploaded. Thank you for listening.